Hello friends, I am Sanyukta and today we are going to be learning to draw the tangle pattern fescu. Yes, fescu is a very simple pattern to draw. There are not many Zentangle tutorials available on this pattern because it's a one stroke and a very simple pattern to draw. However, of late Zentangle headquarters have come up with so many beautiful usages or so many different ways in which fescu can be used as a enhancer or a filler tangle, especially combined with tipple. So I thought of holding a session on the tangle pattern fescu. So fescu is nothing but a straight line and a droplet at the end of that line. That's the tangle pattern fescu. Yes, that's simple. You can also replace the droplet by a simple dot and the pattern fescu is ready. So let us see how you can use this pattern fescu. If you remember, when we were drawing the pattern doodles, we used somewhat this shape, and I also mentioned that the pattern looks like fescu. For example, when we drew doodles like this, we use this kind of shape, right? And we do doodles like this. So this stem and this droplet at the end of the stem looks like fescu. So let me show you some of the ways in which we can use fescu. So this is the tangle pattern flux, as we have already learnt in our previous sessions, and you can see here I have enhanced the look by using fescu here and there. I have also left a small dot in between, for example, just a small dot in between, and colored the rest of the fescu. Looks like an eye, right? As if the fescus are alive. And then you can see in this block I have drawn simple fescu and added 2 or 3 auras to it, and how they look. They look so beautiful. In this you can see I have again drawn 2, 3, 4 fescus, added layers of aura, about 3 layers, and then filled up the rest of the space with tipple, right? And you can see how beautiful a filler fescu becomes. This is also fescu, but I have used the simpler form of fescu, just a dot at the end of the line, right? And you can see how beautiful it is looking. Another version of fescu is the tangle pattern pazel, given by one of our CZTs, and it is nothing but fescu with an aura and some orbs arranged around it, right? So today let us use these two versions of fescu in our tile and have some fun with this simple pattern and see how does it create a magic, right? So in front of me is my 3.5 by 3.5 inch tile. What I am going to do here is just with a light hand create few sections, right? One smaller circle and a somewhat larger circle with a very light hand. You can consider it a string or just trying to divide my tile, right? So what I am going to do is I am going to ink this outer aura that I have, outer circle that I have drawn, right? You can see it's not a perfect circle, just a zigzag kind of crinky line, right? And then I'm going to be using my Micron 08, which has a broader nib, and draw some big fescus here. If you want, you can leave a small gap here and there, as if your fescu has an eye, right? So just randomly drawing a few fescus. You can draw it the way you wish to. No rules. Just don't plan your tile, go with the flow. Right? Just drawing some fescues. You can add some more if you feel like. They're pretty spaced out. If you think they are too much spaced out, you can add few more. Right. Like this. Right. Right. Smaller one here. I think that would be enough. Right. So let's get started. I'm now going to just add an aura to my fescues. Right. Again picking up my O1 and starting to aura my fescues. Just take your time, go slow, and start adding auras to your fescue. Right? I'm going pretty slow. Because I have to outline them. Aura is basically retracing the same line. Right? So fescue is generally used along with any triangle. It helps to enhance the look of the tangle. You can fit it anywhere. But it also acts as an excellent filler. And this style is basically trying to show you how you can use fescue as an excellent filler, right? So you can see here I am just auraing my fescues. Closely. One at a time. Right? So this is where I started from. So I have completed one line of auraing, right? So now I am going to be repeating the same exercises, right? So I have now started with the second line of aura. can see they have already started to intersect. What I am also going to do is add a little rounding here and there. What rounding is? Adding a little weight at the corners, right, where the lines are turning. So wherever the lines are turning, there is a scope for adding a little weight, which is generally called as rounding, right? So I am going to be doing this exercise a couple of times, right? Probably add 3 or 4 auras before I actually start adding my tipples. See here, I have added about 4 lines of auras, and this is how it looks after adding about 4 lines, 4 levels of auras, right? So you can see I have added rounding here and there, and these are the spaces created in between these fescues while I was auraing them, right? So let us fill up these spaces with the tangle tipple. So I am just going to randomly fill up these empty spaces left in between my fescues with the pattern tipple, right? Not bothering much about the shape, just filling in as per the space available, right? So adding tipple to the spaces left in between my fescues. Just filling in the small tiny spaces that are left in between, right? Again, filling in the space with fescues. Right. Yeah. Just take your time. Be aware. Be conscious of what you are doing. Just keep fitting in the fescues in whatever space that is available to you, right? As you can see, just fitting the tipples as per the space not bothering much about the shape. That's why these are called orbs, because need not be perfect circles, right? So I think the in-between spaces have been filled up. Again, some rounding here and there. As I told you, wherever there is a corner or there is a turn in the line, you can always add some weight, which is called as rounding, right? So that is what I am doing, adding some tipples, adding some rounding, fitting in some tipples here and there. Right? And some here also. So now what I am going to do is add some more aura in the inside like this, right? Adding some aura. I think I'll add one or two more. Another one. Just adding an aura, repeating the line already drawn, right? So now I am going to be adding some simpler fescues, the other version that I gave you, just a dot at the end, right? You can cross it, they can intermingle, whichever way you want to draw it, just go ahead. Right, few of them, many of them, like it, just go ahead. That's a simpler version of fescue. Looks good, right? I think I'll stop here. Don't want crowding. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is, these 4 corners that are left, I'm going to be inking it, right? With my 08, it is going to fill it up. Right? You can see here I have filled up all the 4 corners with black ink with my 08. And now we are going to be shading our tile, right? So what I'm going to do is, the inside I'm adding some thick graphite, right? As you can see, I am pretty heavy on my pencil. Yeah. And for the rest, I think I'll just give a touch to my tipples. And not go into too much of detailing, just a touch to my tipples, right? So let's first blend our center. Just keep a small portion white, and blend the rest. Right? And then a light hand on my tipples and on places where I have added some rounding, right? So a light hand on my tipple and at the places where I have added some rounding, I am going to highlight it. Just a touch. Not too much. I don't want the entire thing to go grey, right? Just a touch. Again, wherever I've added a little rounding, I may not even touch the pencil, whatever is available on my pencil. I think that itself is enough. I just need a touch of it, right? Just need a mild touch. Again, very well. There is some rounding, just a touch. You can see I'm either highlighting the roundings or the intersections, right? And of course my tipples, which are the highlight. Just a touch. Adding some graphite on the innermost aura. Right. So that's the pattern tipple. Fescue as combined with tipple, right? So I'm just going to add some white charcoal in the center. And some on my tipples. Again, to highlight them. Right? Portions which you have not put your pencil, you can add some white charcoal and highlight it. Right? Yeah, that's about it. And for the rest of the portion, I'll just go with tiny dots and embellish my tile. Hope you enjoyed the session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel Sanyukta Zentangle. Do follow my videos. So you can see here how a simple pattern like fescue can create magic, right? So as I told you earlier, bold black portions add a lot of drama to your tile, and so it's worth having some bold ink portions in your tile once in a while, right? So that's the pattern fescue. I'm now going to initial my tile. That's an 08. So using one of my fescues, tipple, so we'll meet again with another Zentangle original. Till then, have a good time. Goodbye.